Hi there, I'm Renee Brack and this is Movie Juice, coming to you from the beautiful and prestigious Sydney Theatre. We're here to celebrate the L'Oreal Paris 2008 Australian Film Institute's Award Nominations Announcement. And it's a big deal because this year is the 50th. A lot of our big name stars will be heading home to celebrate with us in early December. And while we're here now, we'll talk to some nominees who are up for the big prizes. But first, here's the most interesting movie news I found this week. This actor has done it once, done it twice, done it 3 times. I know this because I interviewed him for all 3 Jason Bourne films. Now he's backing up for a 4th. Yes, Matt Damon has almost confirmed there'll be another one, with director Paul Greengrass returning as well. So what's wrong with this picture? Plenty. Number 4 will be the first one not based on a Robert Ludlum book. That means no strong storyline. Matt Damon may get his first taste of bad press. Perhaps he can turn to his best buddy Ben Affleck for some advice on how to cope. And with all the hoo-ha of the US presidential election, which happens on November 4, many eyes are on the new Oliver Stone movie called W. It chronicles the life and personality of George W. Bush, and my prediction is that the actor who plays the current president, Josh Brolin, will probably pick up many Best Actor nominations, maybe even an Oscar nom next year too. So no matter who wins the US election, the media will still be full of George W. well after he's left office. And what would he say to that? Probably something like, mission accomplished. There are 2 words that really get me excited when it comes to movies. Guy Richie. Forget his divorce from Madonna and all that stuff. The guy can make movies, and he's made another good one. I bought the soundtrack to it before I even saw it. Crime with comedy, violence that isn't vile, and a cinematic look that makes the bad life look good. Guy gets it right. Our US reporter Sal Morgan was lucky enough to hear all about it from the man himself and actor Gerard Butler.
People ask the question, what's a rock and roller? And I tell them, we all like a bit of the good life. Some the money or the fame, but a real rock and roller wants a lot.
Did you have any hesitation at all in returning to this film world of sex, thugs and rock and roll?
None at all, actually, no. I essentially made this film as much for my own indulgence and pleasure as I did for anyone else's. I mean, it's, that's the world that I like. That's the world that I get entertained by, so, it just only seemed like a natural fit.
How would you describe this world that goes on in rock and roller?
Guy he knows great characters. He knows that world, and he knows he knows the truth of that world, and he knows the untruth of that world. So one, he's got a great visual style. He knows how to make things just look cool as all hell, how to give you really charismatic, interesting characters, and then how to make them surprisingly human or weak or kind of confused or something like that, which when you go into that underworld element, kind of just makes things 10 times funnier.
Is this a robbery?
Yes, it is a robbery.
Where's reverse? You have to lift up the knob and the gear stick.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of ride do you hope that audiences will experience when they come and see this movie?
Well, if you're a fan of the genre, if you're a fan of the snatch, lock, stock genre, and basically if you've got any intelligence, you should enjoy this movie. It's designed to be highly entertaining and amusing, but it depends where your pleasure is bent, so to speak. If you like the look of the title, you'll probably like the movie.
Don't worry, he can't defend himself, he's got no head.
So if you'd like to see Rock and Roller for free, and why wouldn't you, we've got 20 double passes to give away, all thanks to our partners in crime, Roadshow. Here's how you do it. Go to moviejuice.com.au, hit freebies, give us a few details, and answer this question in 25 words or less. If you could have it all, what would you want first and why? Okay, now here's a movie starring an actor who made a name for himself in early Guy Richie movies, Jason Statham. I caught up with him while he was out in Australia for The Bank Job. Now he's in a Paul W.S. Anderson movie called Death Race. What's it about? Well, take a wild guess. A race to the death. Perhaps. One of the things I like about it is that it's also got one of my favourite actors in it, Ian McShane. He's also been in Guy Richie movies.
Well, Bob, the conditions here could not be more perfect for Death Race.
You bet, Tom. The motorsport where the drivers are the world's most violent criminals.
The navigators are prison's most badass sisters.
And the cars are custom built, fully armed, killing machines.
The death race is kind of like the ultimate in reality television. It's 9 racers who race to the death on this sealed course.
Kill or be killed. The first 2 races are to try and get rid of as many of the other drivers as you can and their cars. And the last race is about speed. The first one over the line wins.
The thing that appealed to me mostly was the fact, as Paul describes it, it's rec-tech. I mean, it's very low sheen. There's nothing polished and futuristic about it.
There's a very kind of homemade feel to the cars, which kind of harks back to the rec-tech aesthetic of 80s movies like The Road Warrior.
Nice work.
I love this game.
It's been said that Death Race is a man's movie. Well, I like it too. The 4th Indiana movie is out on DVD. That'd be the one called The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And his on-screen girlfriend was in Australia to have a chat with me about it. Do you know who I mean? Karen Allen.
Well, what's he gonna do now?
I don't think he plans that far ahead.
Oh! I'd cover my ears if I were you.
Lots of women envied your character Marion Ravenwood, but you knew her best. So what do you say is her, I suppose, enduring appeal?
You know, I think it's just one of the greatest film introductions I have ever read in a film script in my life. You know, it's one of these characters, she's just sort of bold, and she's got this, you know, aspect to her that, you know, you want to go like, you go girl. You know, it's a very strong, I think she's very relatable to, and even though, you know, I've never punched anybody in the jaw in my life, you know, I really admire that part of her that just sort of acts before she talks herself out of something.
Other than a good script, which is the generic answer that a lot of actors say brings them back to a project, what drew you to the 4th Indiana movie?
You know, it really just was about Steven Spielberg asking me to do it. It was as simple as that. I mean, he called me up himself. He said, we've written this role for you, and we have this new script that we've been working for 10 years or something. And, you know, I don't think it really would have occurred to me to say no, to say, oh, well, I have to think about this.
Who would say no to Steven Spielberg anyway? Does anyone?
I don't know. I don't know.
You're a teacher?
There was a monkey army in this movie. I wish I had a monkey army. If you haven't seen Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull featuring the monkey army, or if you have and want to enjoy the ride all over again, then keep an eye on Movie 1 because we'll screen it there for you real soon. Now, while we're on big stars in big movies, we may as well take a look at 007. The new one, Quantum of Solace, picks up the story just 2 hours after Casino Royale ends. So if you want to live the James Bond dream and try and do the same, here's how. Tune into Movie 1 at 8:30 Wednesday night on November 12 to see Casino Royale. Then stick around so we can take you straight into some of Quantum of Solace. Yep, it's only you and James Bond who can do that, and Movie 1 is the only place that lets you. Our sneak peek of the latest James Bond movie will really put you in the picture when the movie is released a few days later. Now don't go away because coming up you'll see which films got AFI nominations and who didn't. Find out after the break.